Alright, welcome everybody. Today we're going to be doing a quick look at the Weights of War battle demo that was just released on itch.io. This demo is very quick and easy. I wanted to walk through exactly what the gameplay is going to look like and how to play the game. So starting out, the AI is going to have a pre-generated army, and our goal is to, using the unit buttons down here, deploy our own army to fight it. The size of the army that the AI deploys and the size of the army you can deploy is set based on the budget, which is down here on the right. You can increase your budget every time you do. The enemy increases their budget as well, and so they're going to redeploy their troops. So this will set the size of the battle that you are going to be having. So the default's 40, we'll leave it at there for now. Anytime that you deploy a unit, it's going to show up in one of your formations over here. The first formation is the Vanguard. So I'm going to deploy a few troops here. What we're looking at now is the enemy Vanguard formation and our Vanguard formation. Each formation can only have 20 units in it, so you have to split up your army into two halves if it's going to exceed that limit. So you can only have armies of a certain size, even no matter what budget size you've picked. So you can use these buttons in the top left and right to look at the Vanguard and the Reserve, and you can deploy and click and drag, move troops between them one at a time, or do the box drag to move multiple. The only difference between these formations is that the Vanguard is going to deploy first, and the Reserve is going to deploy after a given amount of time. So in order for the game to start, the battle to start, you do need to at least have one troop in your Vanguard. So I'm going to put a few troops in here, and if we want, we can take a look at the enemy Vanguard and figure out, is there a counter to that. So they have some spearmen, they have some cavalry, and if you want to know the names of each troop and their stats, by the way, you can hover over each of these buttons down below and get those details. But I'm noticing they don't have any heavy infantry or heavy spears, so they don't have any shield coverage, which means they're vulnerable to archer fire. So I'm actually going to get a lot of archers in the back line there. Put a couple spearmen on the front. We can just rearrange them to look nice. They don't have to look nice. And they don't need to be in a big line either. You can move them up into different blocks. Whatever configuration that you need to counter what you think the enemy is going to be doing. And so we have a bunch of units in here. Let's fill out some in the Reserve, because it looks like their Reserve might actually be large because of their small Vanguard. So I'm going to put a couple heavy cavalry, which are always like big, strong units, into the Reserve, as well as a couple skirmishers. And you see they'll spawn in the Vanguard because I haven't filled up my Vanguard totally yet. If I had filled up my Vanguard, they would be spawning over in the Reserve. Alright, and you can see the day-night cycle going through as we set up our armies. These poor troops have been waiting out here a whole day and a night at this point. Alright, if we need to remove some troops, let's say I said, well, too many archers in the front here, I can just drag them over to this box in the bottom left to destroy those units and free up some more funds. I'm actually going to do that one more time so I can afford another heavy cavalry and move him in the back. Alright, and you can see in my remaining budget I have 0 left. I've used all the money I've got. Both my formations have troops in them. We can just hit start. You can use the time controls at the top to speed it up or slow it down. As you can see, the archers are pretty strong against those types of units, but as we were worried about, they have enemy heavy cavalry that were sent in their Reserve formation. So this looks like it's ended up being a pretty close match. And these are 2 horse archers left. You can see the white bar underneath their health bar. That's the amount of ammo they have left, so they're not going to be able to harass us like that forever. And there we go. Victory. At this point, you can do a retry if you wanted, or new battle. New battle is going to be fresh, new budget, new troops, everything. Retry is for if you wanted to, use that same configuration again. See if you could optimize it any better. Especially now that we know what's in the reserve of their army. It's kind of cheating, but we don't care about that. We're just here to optimize and have fun. So we can also just use the escape menu at any time to save our army. And by doing that, if I was to go back to the menu, open the battle up again, I can load that army back up and reconfigure it. And we can mess around with that same configuration over and over again. That way, we can test our single configuration against multiple enemy AI armies. Alright, and don't forget there is a help button down here at the bottom right. You can open that up and get the detailed explanation of everything I just went through. Hit the X, close it again. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any feedback or comments, please leave a comment down below or on the itch page. Would love to hear your feedback. I'm really glad that you all are playing the game. Enjoy the Weights of War battle demo.